On today's episode, LB's vagina waxes poetic. Help, my family won't finance my fiancé. And you need consent to grab LB's juicy mango. All that and more on today's episode of Bad Advice with Lori Beth Denberg.
Help me out, almighty Lori Beth Denberg. Give me the vital information so I get the right thoughts to do, yeah. The church of Lori Beth is in session and we're reading from the scriptures of vital information. Talking my goddess and my savior, my LBT. Just tell me what's going on with me. Oh, my goddess and my savior, my LBT. Just tell me what's going on with me. The Lori Beth Denberg.
Hello, my name is Lori Beth Denberg, and welcome to the Bad Advice podcast. With me, as always, is Clark Crozer.
Hello.
Hello, Clark. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm a little tired, fighting off a little bit of sickness, but, for the most part, I'm doing okay. What about you?
I am doing okay. I'm a little spent too, but because I've been traveling.
Oh, where have you been traveling?
I went to the state of Washington, which I don't believe I had ever been to before.
Was it green and rainy?
It was lush.
Yeah.
And it was a little rainy, and just like when I was in Vermont, and every time it would snow a little bit, I'd be like, flurries, and I would spin around, and then I'd have to go, I'm from Los Angeles, so they could understand that I wasn't like completely loony.
Nice.
The same thing happened when it would rain. It never rained.
Right.
But even when it rained a little, I'd be like, it's raining.
Aww.
And it was lush. I described it as lush many, many times.
I would hope so.
Just green and green and green.
Yeah. Did you have a good time?
I did have a good time. I went out and saw some friends that I have not seen since the COVID.
Nice.
But what's interesting is they're friends that live near Seattle, around there, in surrounding neighborhoods and towns. And so I didn't see them all the time anyway.
You're all right.
But with, COVID and Zoom and stuff, I've seen them all like 3 times a week.
Right,
So it's this very weird thing. But one of them I had never met.
Oh.
I had never met this chickie. We met only on Zoom, hanging out with friends. And so I got to meet her and hug her. It was very strange because you feel like, hey, I know you.
Right.
And it was really weird because as she, we were all in a group text and they're like parking, walking up. And as they were walking up, I started to get really nervous. And for some reason, this is what I thought. I go, if Jess is really tall, I'm going to freak out. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought that.
That's funny.
And in my head, I was picturing her like taller, like my giant plus.
Right.
But she was taller than me, but a lot of people are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then we all hung out and we went to one of those places where they pour all the seafood bucket on your table and then you just eat it with your hands.
Nice. Did you get a bib?
I did get a bib.
Nice.
Sadly, I did not get the bib in time because the appetizer I ate ended up on my tits, which is,
no.
You don't have this affliction, but everyone with a fairly sizable boobie section, it's just like, it's just to catch food. It's to catch drippings.
That is absolutely 100% not true. I know it's not true because you also use that area as a storage locker.
I do.
You put your phone there, your keys there.
There are times when I pull out, it's like Mary Poppins' bag.
Exactly.
And I'll pull up my phones there, and I have, a lighter in case of emergency birthday candles, and my keys, and a little, wallet, all that kind of stuff. And I do that now. My dad has arthritis. It's hard for him to get his wallet in and out of his pants pocket.
Right.
So if he gets it out, he'll be like, give it back to me in the car. And I stick it in my, and he's like, do you have my wallet? And I go, yeah, it's in my tits. So it's like, but I've really tried to when I put my like debit card in there and I'm going to the store or money in there, I'll pull it out before I get to the counter. So it's not like, here's my sweaty boob money. But it is my sweaty boob money. So if I somehow, like, I have no respect for them, I'm still giving it to them. I just don't want them to know.
Right.
Maybe what they don't know won't infect them. There's no infection on my boobs. But.
Yes.
The impetus for me booking this trip to Seattle
Right.
was the Northwest Pinball and Arcade Convention.
Oh, nice.
NWAPAC.
Nice.
So, of course, as we know from every pinball conversation we've had, I'm only interested in the Lord of the Rings pinball.
Sure.
And so it was there. We confirmed that it would be there prior to buying the tickets.
How did you do that?
They had a list on their website of all the games.
Wow.
But it was tons of pinball machines going back decades and decades and decades and decades.
Wow.
And arcade games.
Oh,
like
cool.
standy-uppy arcade games.
Yeah.
And some city-downy arcade games like the Pac-Man that you have.
Yes, my Miss
Cocktail?
Pac-Man cocktail table.
Cocktail table.
Yeah.
And so
Pizza Hut style.
Yeah, I went with a friend of mine and we played a bunch of those and Moon something where you sat and tried to avoid bombs and holes in the ground. I wish I could remember the name. We played it a long time.
Was it Moonshot?
Moon. It was
Moon
very
doggy.
Very early.
Yeah.
It was like one of the first.
Sure.
If you know the name of this, well, my friend will phone in and be like, it was this. Did our time mean nothing to you? So we did go there, and of course, I'm just kind of hovering around the Lord of the Rings pinball machine.
As you do.
I'm pretending to play the one like next to it. Because I never hover. When I've been in a big game, there's people who've come and stood like right, like I can feel them breathing.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, go to hell.
Yeah.
And some knife fights have broken out. But so I was very cognizant. I was just kind of standing a few machines away. And it was all free play.
Oh, that's even better.
I mean, my ticket was $50. The tickets were $50 for like one day or, $250 or something for the whole weekend.
All right.
We just did one day but all free play.
That's
So
amazing.
it's fucking awesome. But
Yeah.
so this guy is playing, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I don't want people to lose, but I also want them to like move along.
Right.
But so I'm watching this guy, and then I take a look at the scoreboard, and he's at like 150 million. Like he is killing it.
Wow.
And so then I get really interested, and I move from the side of him to a very respectable distance in back of him. And now I'm just watching this masterclass of Lord of the Rings.
Sure.
And I stood back and he just killed it. I was at least 207 million, I think. He took the grand champion spot. There's fourth place, third place, second place, first place, and then like grand champion.
Holy shit.
So I waited and I was just watching him. He slapped the flippers in a way that I'm like, okay, I'm going to try that. And then it was like, zoop. It really worked.
Wow.
And so I'm kind of just watching this guy. And when he did finally lose his last ball, he turned around and I go, you're my hero. And he kind of laughed. And then I got up there. I think I got fourth place. I got fourth. I got on the board.
Okay.
Basically. So, but I was like, I was like, I want to be your grasshopper.
Yeah, exactly. You found your Yoda.
Can you snatch the ring out of my hand?
Now, wait a minute. This was a pinball convention, right?
Yes.
Were there like booths that were like the future of pinball? And it was like, well, come on, guys.
There wasn't like stuff to buy. It wasn't like Comic-Con in that sense.
Boo.
But it was like Comic-Con in the sense that there were like panels
nice.
outside Nobody was there.
Oh, no.
It was really sad. And it was this dry, like, presentation about pinball.
Oh, no.
Or the future of pinball. So I didn't attend any of those because my only goal was to play Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Which I did plenty of. And so that was the impetus to go. But I also got to meet my friend for the first time in person, hug people that I haven't seen in
Nice.
a long time.
I was kind of hoping when you said that there were, the typical con stuff, that there were, I was really hoping you were going to say people cosplaying as their favorite pinball machines.
Oh my gosh, right?
That would be amazing.
They all waddle around just dressed as, they're like, push start, insert coins. That's like a pinball stripper, insert coins. So it was really fun, and it was a fun trip. I'd never been to Washington. It's a whole different vibe. And went whale watching, and we're probably talking for like 85 minutes right now.
Yeah, it's okay.
So anyway,
You
it was
had a good time.
I did have a good time.
Oh, that's great. I'm very, very happy for you.
Well, thank you.
But before we get too deep into Washington lore,
Too late.
maybe we should start answering some people's questions. We have some questions here, and there are people that need help.
Okay.
We're recording this kind of, towards the end of June. This is going to be a summer episode.
Yes.
We wanted to have a whole episode to help people out for the upcoming summer of 2022.
That is funny that you mentioned that. He did tell me, ladies and gentlemen of the audience, that this would be a summer episode, but I never know the questions usually, but I did know it was summer, and that's another thing about going to Washington was like leaving the San Fernando Valley in a hot spell.
Oh, yeah.
A little heat wave, and going there, and it was like, I'm so very comfortable. I was actually cold at times.
Oh, no!
So it was pretty swell. It's pretty sweltering.
Yeah.
Now, do you like my play on words?
That was good.
All right.
So
Summer.
Summer. Yeah, we're going to have a summer-fueled episode.
Okay.
And we're going to start out with our good friend Candace. And Candace asks, Dear LB, I'm getting ready for swimsuit season. Do I shave, wax, or laser my bikini area?
Oh. Did Candace send pictures?
No pictures.
That was a wise move. Candace, I clearly have nothing but bad advice and bad intentions. So for the first time ever, I've wanted to for a very, very long time, I recently got a Brazilian wax.
Wow.
I wanted to for a very long time. And I'm like,
ow.
I did well.
Okay.
I did well. It was a good friend of mine. She does my hair too. She's the awesomest. And so it was like comfortable. I was like, we're going to be much better friends after this. And she actually said, oh girl, I've seen more bush than a gigolo.
Wow.
So she does it, for a living. So it was comfortable in that sense. And it really didn't hurt that much at first. I'm like, oh, what is everyone complaining about? She goes, it's going to hurt more as we work our way in.
Oh no.
Which was true, but still, I
Sounds
would
like
do it
a threat.
Again. I know. You really don't want me getting in there. What's it worth to you? So it did hurt a little more, but I would totally do it again.
Okay.
The problem is that you have to grow it out.
Right.
And just from being a boy face,
sure,
that it's itchy, scraggly, getting into that beardiness.
Yeah.
And then there's sweatiness.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. So I have shaved many, many, many times.
Sure.
So Candace, if you like doing that. Now, what I don't know is if Candace wants bare bones,
right,
smoothiness, or if she wants the little triangle or
fancy design.
Exactly. Or the Prince insignia. I'm sure someone has done that before.
Probably Prince.
R.I.P.
Oh.
So, Candace, depending on what you want, a Brazilian is whole hog. Coming up with really strange analogies for it, little monikers for it.
Yeah.
I went whole hog.
Nice.
So I'm laughing at myself and thinking about other things that I'm not going to say. Um, but you could, just do the waxing of the outer bikini area. If you shave, there is, like, some people get, what's it called? Like ingrown that?
Yeah, ingrown toenails.
Toenails. Ingrown camel toenails. Oh, ladies and gentlemen,
Oh my God.
Clark just fell back in his chair.
That broke me.
My goodness, you're going to make it. So it can get stubbly and people have trouble with that. You could use Nair, but that seems like throwing acid in a bride's face. I'm not sure. So it depends on what you're comfortable. What did she say? Waxing, shaving?
Shaving or laser.
You
haven't talked about laser yet.
Laser hair removal, I know. I have never done it. I am very, very lucky, Clark.
Okay.
This is the kind of thing that girls talk about.
Okay.
All the hair on my body, except for my head, is very light in color and sparsely, sparsely applied.
Right.
So that is something girls talk about. Like, oh, the hair on my arm, it's dark and it's this and it's that.
So it's sometimes it's like the hair that you can only see when it's like in direct sunlight.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much me.
Right?
Like the hair on my body is just really light. And I've been really, really lucky, when I'm dealing with stuff like that. And this is only if you give a shit about like society saying, don't be hairy or no man will want you. But I just happen to like, anyway, I like going the whole hog.
Sure.
Whoosh. But I don't have a lot of that on my other areas. So it also depends on how hairy y'all are down there, Candace, and listeners who haven't tuned out yet. But so laser, I do have some friends that have done laser treatments. And it happens a little at a time. You book multiple sessions. Because it's like, that follicle, that follicle.
Ugh.
So you don't go in and do it all at once. They haven't said that it hurt or anything, but that's a slow process.
Right.
So if you want that eventually, you could start that process and then continue. Maybe you'll be where you want to be next summer.
Right.
But in the meantime, I liked the waxing. It didn't hurt me too badly. Maybe I'm just the best. We talked about that I was a badass a couple weeks ago, so maybe I'm just a badass.
There you go.
Or a bad front anyway.
Right.
But so I would recommend trying it. Maybe you could just be like, can you try one strip? And then if you're like, that was okay, keep going. Or you were like, nope, I'm gone.
Right.
Or if you're like, please do more. Then that's for you, my dear.
Or we ignore all of it and we just let the sunshine in like we're in hair and we're hippies and we don't shave at all.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
just go full bush.
You can. If it's cruising out the side of your bikini bottoms
Right.
and you're down with it, go to town. But I think maybe if she's asking this, she wants to tame it.
Right.
She wants to thin out the forest. So
Right. She doesn't want her area to look like Mr. Cotter.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Now that's all you'll ever see whenever you look at Mr. Cotter.
I thought you were going to say whenever I look at a girl's vagina.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, it doesn't happen that often.
No, but you're often looking at Mr. Cotter.
Yeah, every day. Every day. I have the poster in my room and I kiss it. So, Candace, your pain level, your level of how often you want to have to attend to that area, all of that is, up for grabs as far as your personal experience and your things that you tolerate.
That's
But
good. Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good advice. Candace, send us some pictures. Let us know how it's going.
No, we shouldn't say that.
Mr.
Don't
Cotter,
do
if
it.
you're out there, right on in. Let's move on. Candace, good luck. I hope you have a nice bushless summer.
Nice.
We're moving on though. We're moving on to Nick. And Nick has a question for you. He says, my puppy has no sense of self-preservation and wants to go on walks even in 100-degree heat. How do I exercise him in the summertime?
Ah.
I know, LB, you are a dog expert,
I am a dog aficionado.
aficionado. So tell me, how do you deal with dogs in heat?
How do I deal with dogs in heat, Clark? I find another dog and I play some romantic music. There are dogs that I have worked with that makes it sound like I'm an animal trainer. I was, as many people know, a full-time dog walker and pet sitter because acting work is not steady. And I loved it. I loved the puppy faces.
Yeah.
But there are dogs that you have to monitor, not even when it's hot, but they will just play fetch until they pass out. You have to be the one to say, okay, we're done. There's this one dog, Montana. He was a yellow lab, and I loved his face so much. And he would just play fetch for hours. And then I realized he really liked bubbles.
Oh, nice.
So I got one of those big bubble wands that makes big bubbles, and I would just swoosh it, and he would run, and he would jump, and he wouldn't stop. But I knew that the first time he horked when he was like,
yeah,
because he had because he'd jump and chomp on him.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, there is enough suds in your larynx that we are going to stop, and you're going to have some water. So that happens with dogs even when it's not summertime. When it is really hot and you have that kind of puppy face, it is something you have to be careful with. So here is my advice.
Okay.
Puppy wants to go on a walk. It's 100-degree heat. I don't know how long your walks are, but it seems like they said, I want to exercise my dog.
Yeah. How do I exercise him?
Okay. I would suggest finding a dog park or an open area, or if you have a big yard, and if they will chase something, if they will chase other dogs, you can do that. They will get more exercise and more, not aggression out, energy out.
Energy.
They will eat 5 children and then be like, oh, I got to get home. It's so hot. But if they're playing, if they are doing something more strenuous and exerting more than they would on a regular walk, then you can be out there for a shorter period of time.
Right.
That is one thing that I've used, because 30 minutes of walking could be the same as 5 minutes of catch.
Right.
Not catch, fetch.
Fetch. Well, fetch is the same thing.
The dog's really good at throwing it back. So that is one way to go. There might be indoor places. I mean, there are doggy daycares that are inside.
Yeah.
And sometimes they have those doggy cams so you can see everything that's going on. And usually the people that show them to me, it's like their dog sitting in the corner doing nothing. Like everyone's having fun. But that would be bags.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you might be able to do something like that in an indoor situation, which would then hopefully it wouldn't be 100 degrees inside. But more exercise, bigger, more out there, balls out, or, empty ball sack, neutered out for a shorter period of time could be the answer to your problems.
You know what else I've seen? I've seen this on TikTok, actually, a couple of different places. And who knows, this might only be in certain areas and it might not be in Nick's area. But I have seen, you know how they have the mobile grooming trucks?
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of people that had mobile, I don't even know what how they would describe it. It's like a doggy treadmill inside of like a big van. So the dog just walks into the van and they put him up on this big doggy treadmill and they hook the leash in. And then the dog can go full blast on this treadmill and just get all of its energy out from this mobile dog treadmill thing.
We are living in the Jetsons.
Right? It really does feel very Jetsons-y,
Wow.
where the dog was on the little walking treadmill thing.
Well, check that out.
You know what else I've seen?
What?
And I love this. Basically, somebody made, they took a tennis ball launcher or a baseball launcher that you would use for training, and they shrunk it down, and they put the tennis balls in it, and they just have the dogs where the tennis ball shoots out. The dog gets it. They are trained to walk the ball back to the little deposit area. They drop the ball in the basket. It goes back and shoots back out again.
Oh my goodness.
And it's just like hours of fun for the dog.
Nicholas, are you an engineer? And I don't know how this escaped us both until right now.
Yeah.
Does your dog like to swim?
Oh, hey.
Swimming is a big old deal, using
Yeah.
all 4 paws at once. You can throw the ball in and dogs jump in after it. That's another option for you and your doggy.
I love it. Are we good? Should we move on?
I think Nicholas has a lot to work with.
I think you do. I think that's a lot of good advice. So let's move on to our next question. Our next question is from somebody named Gooby.
Goopy.
Gooby. And Gooby says, "Hey, LB, what should I put in my summertime fruit salad?"
OMG. Okay.
Wait, you don't know Gooby, do you?
No.
Okay, I was going to say.
No, but this is something very close to my heart. I wait all year for summer fruit.
Oh, nice.
I love summer fruit, the peaches, mostly nectarines, the good strawberries, the good green grapes.
Wow.
The watermelons and such, etc. The cherries.
Ooh.
Let me just keep naming fruit. But so I don't like apples. I think we might have discussed this shortcoming of mine.
Oh,
I probably eat like an orange and a half a year.
wow.
And then all of the summer fruit, all of the other fruit that's available, that's trucked in from Chile. I guess it's not trucked in, probably flown in. Those are A, disappointing, and B, now as we discuss these things, they're horrible for the earth.
Yeah.
Like flying a nectarine to me in December.
Right.
But, in the end, it's also not delicious. So,
Right.
and everything I touch must be delicious. So, like doorknobs, like anything. My steering wheel is delish. So, I am super excited about this question.
Okay, good.
Because I know the summer is over when I get the fruit instead of fries at a restaurant and there's apple in it.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like this sad song plays. I push it away and a single tear falls. So there is the melon trifecta,
Okay.
the watermelon, the cantaloupe, and the honeydew,
Honeydew.
which I think a lot of people have called the honeydew trash melon. I don't know. Or it was a thing on BoJack.
Oh.
Where it was just this consistent thing where everyone was like, honeydew is trash. But it all depends on if it's a good one.
Sure.
And there are many other melons, but those are kind of the 3 big ones. So that is, tried and true. I once made a summer fruit salad that I was really proud of.
Mm.
The quote unquote meat of it was peaches. Like,
Peaches.
imagine a bowl of peaches sliced. So in those little, like if you cut it in half and then cut that in little full things.
Like an apple slice.
Like a slice, yeah. Let me explain what a slice is. If you're going to operate a podcast something, I think you know what a slice is.
Well,
like pizza?
You're the professional cook here. So.
Oh, God, yes. Oh, well, we'll talk about.
Well, we're going to get there.
Yeah,
so.
we'll talk about fruit salad. Actually, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
So my fruit salad was mainly peaches, some nectarines. And you don't usually get that. You might get a slice of peach and like the melon trifecta salad.
Right.
But I did this thing of peaches and then I put cherries in, but I got a cherry pitter.
Oh.
At first I was like, I'll cut them in half. And that just isn't a thing. And I got a cherry pitter, which looked kind of like a hole punch. And you just go ka-chunk.
Huh.
And so there was pitted cherries. And I think I probably put in some green grapes. But it was this really hearty fruit salad. Because it wasn't just made up of like, the melon, the this, the that. Or the orange slice. Get out of my face, orange slices.
Wait, what about pineapple?
Pineapple? I didn't put pineapple in. I have an issue with pineapple. I love it.
Okay.
But I feel as though it overpowers
Oh, yeah.
everything else because it's so tangy tangerson
Yeah.
that it can overpower things. That's the same reason I don't put lemon on things. Like people put lemon on seafood
Sure.
and on certain dishes. And I tend to not do that because then all I taste is the lemon. It's very overpowering.
Diet Coca-Cola.
Diet
I know you love your slice of lemon
Oh
in
my
your
God.
Diet Coke.
Tabitha Slice of Lemon. Tabitha Slice of Lemon. Name the movie. Oh, Down and Out in Beverly Hills.
Oh, nice.
That's such
That
a
was
great movie.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do our favorite movies about Beverly Hills next week. So I think that I have told you my take on a fruit. That's what you should make me.
Right.
Gooby, right?
Yeah, Gooby.
Is that your Christian name? Is that like Gooby from the Bible? Of the Connecticut Goobies? But that is an expensive dish.
Yeah.
That is peaches, which are more expensive than getting the melons, but in the summer, they're so good.
Mm.
So you could go for it. If you wanted to make it a little different, like you could cut big slices of the melon so it was like a round flat piece and then use some little like cookie cutters to make it into neat shapes.
Ooh.
And that makes it kind of more special.
There you go.
And just try to make as many as you can, and you can still use the parts that didn't fit into the cookie.
Sure.
That would be really neat, actually.
I love the idea of cookie cutter on fruit.
Cookie cutter for, well, now I think what I've just invented is edible arrangements.
Yeah, that's true.
Now that I think about it.
Yeah, but edible arrangements for your home.
For your home.
Right?
Edible home arrangements.
Exactly.
Edible funeral arrangements.
They're not just for offices anymore.
Yes, but that's a good way to, do something more fun with honeydew trash melon, which I enjoy.
Nice. Now, the only other question that I have, and
Yes.
this is a a controversial one.
Uh-oh.
Especially when you're doing berries, stuff like that. Sometimes you get a little sprinkle on top, right? You get a little sprinkle of sugar or sprinkle of honey or something like that. Do you put anything on the top of your fruit salad, or is that it? Just the fruit?
I have done just the fruit. It depends on your audience. Is this the diabetic book club?
Right.
Don't do a sprinkling of sugar.
Right.
And really look at the sugar content of the fruits. Bananas, very high in sugar and potassium. Bad for kidney problems and diabetics. I take care of my dad. Anyway, that's a slight listing of the things I look out for when I'm shopping.
Nice.
So yeah, that depends. Strawberry is also a even just a bowl of strawberry. Is this the longest? This is like the most thorough answer to a question ever.
Exactly.
But what you just made me think of, Clark, is, and some people will be like, oh, gross, you're the worst. Ambrosia.
Oh, hey, yeah.
When you said sprinkle things on top, I thought marshmallows.
Sure.
But in all fairness, half the things you say, I'm like, marshmallows. Because I just like to think about them a lot. And
do I shave or wax my groin? Marshmallows.
Marshmallows. That's what I'm thinking about, Candace. I want to get a nice golden brown and a gooey inside.
Gooby inside.
Gooey inside. So, I happen to like a good ambrosia that's not too gloppy.
All right.
And it has just that like fruit cocktail in a can.
Sure.
So that's, we've talked
yeah.
about, I think on our very first show, actually,
Really?
we talked about bullshit high-end cranberry sauce.
Oh.
And the guy was like, is it rude if I just bring my can of ocean spray? And I was
Right.
like, no. So the whole ambrosia thing with the marshmallows, that's another way to go. Is that a fruit salad? It's up to you.
See, there's always ways to go.
Yes.
All right. Well, hopefully, Gooby, that helps. Please send us pictures of your fruit salad.
Yeah.
I would love to see those pictures.
Send us a sample with dry ice to Bad Advice, care of the moon.
All right. Well, before we answer any more questions, I'm very excited because this is the final episode of
It Get ready for the worst recap in America.
Spoiler here, gonna be the final episode
It is
of the
final.
worst recap in America.
Yes, this is where it all came crashing down.
But before we get to there, let's start at the beginning of the episode. The beginning of the episode was kind of like a tiki tropical challenge.
Yes.
Right? And
Yes.
you guys had to break some coconuts.
Wait, let me tell you, it was a really hard show. And when I saw there was an opportunity to like bang on coconuts and just get some aggression out,
Right?
I was pretty excited. And then pretty disappointed because they were super easy to break.
Oh,
Like,
were they not real coconuts?
No, they weren't real. Well, I don't think they were real coconuts. no.
Wow.
And they were already, what's it called? Like cut in half.
Sure, scored.
No, even, I think it was just two halves.
Oh, no.
They might have been plastic, I don't know, but they were not real.
Okay.
And so the first, like, I was like, oh.
Oh.
I tried not to look disappointed on TV. But that was good. That was a nightmare, though. It was this huge, some of these challenges we did for 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you look at that one, we had to crack the coconuts, find the ingredients, put them on the board for what the recipe was. And then that takes a lot longer than you see it.
Right. Well, the weird part to me was the whole point of the show is that you're the worst cooks in America, and they're giving you all of these ingredients. Like, how are you guys supposed to know which goes where and where goes? Like, that made no sense to me. Everyone was just guessing.
Well, we're supposed to get better. And you may have noticed this was my last episode. But we eventually got it. I think the blue team won.
Yeah, that's true.
But it was like skin of our teeth, maybe. So we won that. And then
So you made the coconut shrimp?
Oh my God, the coconut shrimp. Let's just take a minute and pour one out for the blue team with the coconut shrimp. It was kind of hilarious. Well, first of all, we have these notebooks. If you look at the parts where Jeff is showing us how to cook the big meal,
Right.
and we're furiously writing in these notebooks they gave us. I didn't have my notebook. I found out afterwards that it was in the little drawer of my station.
Oh, no.
And that other people were using it, but I don't think the blue team knew that.
Oh, no.
So we all started with Jody. I felt so bad for her because she got really upset, where we just like watched her kind of lose it because she'd mixed all her dry ingredients and she wasn't supposed to, and she just starts freaking out, and we're like, it's fine, Jody, keep going. It was not an elimination challenge.
Right.
So it was like, cool.
Yeah.
And then I did the same thing.
Well, everyone did. I feel like everyone on the team did the same mistake.
Matt did the same thing.
Oh, my God.
So you just see Jeff's face going like, what the fuck, guys?
Oh,
He's like standing up on his perch with Ann Burrell going, you guys are really not making me look good right now.
Oh, God.
So it was kind of a complete clusterfuck.
Oh.
But what they did do, because we were using deep fryers.
Oh, right.
So, if there's anything more dangerous than giving me a knife, it's giving me a deep fryer.
A giant bucket of boiling oil.
So before the whole thing started, Anne actually brought us all over and she gave us a demonstration on how to use it.
Okay.
Because they do, I don't think I've said this yet, but in the first week when we were doing the first show, Anne was talking to us and she's like, yeah, it's a show, it's whatever, but learn stuff.
Yeah.
You'll never have, and this is true, you'll never have access to as many tools and instruments and pantry items as you do here. Everything is there and everything is super top end.
Right.
These like KitchenAid blender and all that kind of stuff because it's all, it's TV. So she really kind of imparted to us like, have fun, but really try to learn some stuff.
Nice.
And so this is one of those times where they were like, let's show them how to use a deep fryer. Why not? So they did give us that little demonstration because that could have been really dangerous.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But it was so fucking crazy all of our shit was mixed the wrong way, and then wouldn't stick to the shrimp. And at one point, it was just like, all right, I'm just gonna go lay this in the fryer. We'll just see. And we were supposed to make a sauce, okay?
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
Oh,
Actually, at one point, I'm struggling so much to just get this shrimp coating, and Jeff Morrow, my team captain, my celebrity chef team captain, he yells down to me, "Hey, Lori Beth, let's start on that sauce." And I go, "No."
Oh, no!
And he kind of looked at me like, "What?"
You're just openly defying him.
And honestly, fairly rude. So if you're listening, Jeff, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. But this is the whole thing with us being, harried and scurrying around and stressed.
Sure.
That's the whole fun of
The show.
Yeah, the fun of these kind of shows is watching people lose their minds
Right.
and break down emotionally.
Right.
So it was the perfect, I was either the perfect contestant or someone too close to the edge to start with.
Right.
There was no trajectory for me.
Yeah.
So what I decided to do instead, because rum was one of the ingredients.
Oh.
So I got these two pretty big ramekins, like a little, bowly thing.
Okay.
And I put them on the plate. And my idea was to just fill them with rum, like really big shots of rum, and make it a joke. Like, well, maybe you'll like my shrimp. Try the rum first.
Try the dip.
Why don't you get loosened up? But as I have said before,
Yeah.
it is no joke that you are going like mad until they start saying 5, 4, 3, like on the. I did not have time to pour the rum.
Wow.
And Elisa Donovan gave me the idea, like, oh, just say it's for the shrimp tails.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. I mean, they were huge. It was ridiculous. But I forgot to say that. I did tell them it was supposed to be rum. But so every plate of shrimp was just a mess on our side.
Yeah.
And Anne's team, possibly due to Stockholm Syndrome or sheer terror, theirs were all pretty good. Pretty good.
Oh, nice.
Pretty good.
Well, they also didn't have their recipe books hidden from them through the whole challenge.
I think, the red team looked at their recipe books at times when we were not supposed to.
See?
And I tattled. It was before we even started, and it wasn't that one. It was in the past.
Right.
It was in the past. It was in previous episodes where I was like, they are looking at their recipe books. Like, I get really into the rules because it's a game and it's a game show. And there are laws. And I said to the producer, I go, either we're using our notebooks or we're not. Can you go, And then he was like, guys, put away your notebooks. I was like, that is insufficient.
Yeah.
There needs to be repercussions right now. Or I could have just opened my own fucking notebook.
Right.
But
Yeah, exactly.
that wasn't what we were supposed to do. Anyway, yes, the shrimp was the clusterfuck of the universe.
And that led into a seafood curry?
The seafood curry was really cool. I never would have thought, I'm just gonna make a curry today.
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't know. I'm like, what is the base? Toilet water? Is it apple juice? I don't know what goes into curry.
Apple juice.
I just don't know.
Yeah.
That'd be gross.
Yeah, gross.
That's what little kids eat for curry. Can I have curry juice? I do like apple juice. I don't like apples. I like applesauce. I like apple juice. It's the fibrous texture of the apple.
Interesting.
And this goes back to my fruit summer salad thingy.
Sure.
And has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
No.
So we watched the whole demonstration. It's good. Sometimes I'd just be like, there's too much going on. There was a lot going on. All different burners, the rice, and then I get distracted doing something else that I'm doing poorly, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I haven't checked the rice. I really thought I'd ruin the rice. And I'm like, whatever happens.
Yeah.
And then my curry, I'm doing the thing, and I overcook my proteins. I overcook my fish, and I overcook my shrimp.
Yeah.
And that was something that happened to me several times on the show. And part of that was me being worried that I was going to undercook things.
Right, because of the first episode.
Because of the first episode.
Right.
So, but also it's just like, okay, I put the shrimp in the thing. I'm going to go look at this. And it's like, I forgot.
Right.
You know? And so my curry ended up being tasty, according to Jeff.
Yeah, he said he liked the curry part.
He liked the curry part, that the, protein was overcooked. But then he goes, your rice was perfect. Or he said, your rice was really good. And I was like, really?
Wow.
Because that was just me going, well, whatever.
Oh, no.
I just was, it was so much. I was so tired.
So tired, I'm sure.
Yeah, but even so, it's like this plate of curry, I've made this whole meal.
Yeah.
And I could, if I looked at my little book, I could make it again. I haven't. We should do a thing where I actually cooked one of the meals we made.
Yeah. Well, preferably not a fish curry for me, but
well,
yeah.
Yeah, you don't like fish. Clark has never eaten the sushi with me.
No.
And that's okay. A lot of people have that. But again, he doesn't like cheese or chocolate, which makes him suspect and just inherently a bad person.
It's true.
So that was the deal. I went out after, we all had our dishes judged by Jeff, and
Yeah.
I knew I was going to be on the bottom because
Right.
everyone else was like, your fish is perfect, it's flaky and delicious.
Right.
And mine was like, boom, like bounced back up when he dropped it on the ground. So I knew I was going to be in the bottom,
Yeah.
and I was.
You were.
Yes.
And you ended up having to do the, I believe it's called the blind elimination challenge.
Yes.
Versus the
Mark.
road rules guy, Mark?
Mark Long, tall Mark Long.
Yeah.
From, I think he was on like Road Rules Challenge. He's done a bunch of those MTV who's going to be sexy and who's going to be sweaty
Right.
competition shows.
We've put 6 people in a bedroom
We
and let's
put
see what happens.
6 people in an elevator.
See
and
what
then,
happens when life starts getting real.
Exactly. So I had to go up against Mark in the blind elimination challenge. For those who watch, it was cooking another piece of fish.
Right.
And then making a sauce or like a fruit salsa.
Right, like a tropical fruit.
Tropical fruit, yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, I hadn't made the sauce for the shrimp.
Right.
So I'm like, I didn't use the immersion blender. I'm not starting now.
Right.
So I'm like, salsa it is. So I had this, plan.
Right.
And this is, in hindsight, I'm a little angry about things, Clark.
This is where things get a little controversial.
This is where things start getting real.
Right?
When people stop being polite.
Stop being polite
and start getting real.
Oh my God, that's funny.
They read us the rules before every challenge and the rules of the game and all this different stuff because it is like a legality. It's a
show.
thing.
Yeah.
Because for us, it was for charity, but for someone else, like they call it a civilian season. They're playing for money that they're going to
Exactly.
get. So if they say you cheated, I deserve the $25,000 or whatever. That's a thing. So they read the rules every single time before every single challenge. And what they always say is contestants can use any ingredients they find in the pantry. Contestants are not required to share. You can share, but sharing is not required.
Required, yeah.
So my first thing was that I was going to run and take all the fruit.
Nice.
But part of me was like, yeah, and then fuck you. But I just thought that's not a good look. I just kind of wanted to get to it first.
Right.
And I did think like, oh, it's not required. What kind of sauce are you going to make with, an apple and some garlic?
Well, especially he went for fish first.
He went for fish. And I should have started cooking my fish earlier, as we found out, but so should he.
Yeah, exactly.
I went for that. I grabbed it all. He starts coming over and just taking shit. Well, he comes over and he goes, "Can I have the mango? You took all the fruit." I'm like, "Yeah, I did." And I wish I was more ruthless, but I don't think that would be a nice, like, they're not like, Lori Beth is a real fucking bitch. She came to win. But
You didn't go there to make friends.
You know what's funny? In the next episode after that,
Yeah.
Jeff mentioned me.
Yeah.
And they played a little thing. It looked like I was a ghost. But that was my joke that I said. I said, I'm not here to win. I'm here to make friends. I said that, and that they used it there. I was very pleased. Which, I mean, that's true for me. I never had any delusions of whinger.
Yeah.
So he runs up, can I have your mango? You took all the fruit. And I go, yeah. I said, just leave me a good half.
Sure.
He gives me back this, like, fucking mangled, butchered mango.
Oh, no.
And I was like, really? And so I cut off what I could, and I salvaged, and I, like, sliced it up. And then I'm working on the fish. I'm worried about everything. I'm worried about overcooking the fish.
Sure, because that's what you were just told that you did wrong.
Yes, I just had done that. I had done that on something else as well. And so I'm worried about that. My team, so supportive. The blue team... Who was there? Kwani, Lawrence, Sweeten. You guys are the best. And I will say this.
Yeah.
I stand behind, I probably say this every week when we do this. I stand behind the morals and ethics of the blue team.
Yes.
Because one of the things they tell us is don't help the person that's on your team in the challenge. Encourage them, cheer for them.
Right, for the final elimination.
Yeah, exactly. For the blind challenge.
The blind challenge.
But don't say, oh, you should do this, do this, do this.
Right.
Because it's about what the two contestants can do.
Right.
So I was making my mango salsa.
Right.
My tropical fruit salsa. And we had learned about the flavor profiles, salty, sweet, blah, 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 spicy.
Nice.
And I had just done sweet. So Jody Sweeten is trying to get something across to me. But so instead of saying, you need something spicy in there,
right.
She goes, Lori Beth, remember your flavor profiles.
Oh, nice.
So then I thought about that, and I'm like, oh, spicy. And she was like, yes. But that's, and the red team is like, put that on there, 1/2 cup, turn the heat up.
Right.
Those bastards. They're all so nice. They're all super duper nice. But that is the kind of like down home goodness that the blue team had and still have.
Right.
We haven't lost a member yet.
See?
So I just make this, I do my best, but I go to put my salsa together and my mango's gone.
Oh, the mango you cut up already?
Yeah, that's what I said. I go, where's my mango? And my team goes, he took it, meaning
what?
Mark. And I go, he took the mango I cut?
What?
And they said, yeah.
Shenanigans.
Yes, full on shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
They did not show that.
What?
They did not show the, thievery.
Yes.
Because the audience could very well say, that is cheating. That is not nice. Lori Beth deserved to stay, but please don't say that because I was so tired. My feet hurt so bad. My fat ass was like hobbling from one step to the other.
Oh, God.
But the adrenaline does get you going, though,
Sure,
when you're doing those things. So I'm just like pissed off at that point.
Yeah.
But he even acknowledged it when he was talking in his little like confessional thing where they show us like commenting.
Yeah.
He did say, so I'm using Lori Beth's station like a grocery store.
Uh-huh.
And so it's like, what part of that do you think is great? So in hindsight, I wish I had cut the fruit I wanted.
Right.
Put it aside secretly and thrown the rest in the trash.
Exactly.
In the end, he actually made a sauce with the stuff.
Yeah.
I made this mango salsa. Both of our fish were undercooked.
Mm.
I kept saying, I don't think this fish is cooked. And Matthew Lawrence was like, just being really like, you got this. It's totally cooked. And but they weren't. So they both weren't all the way cooked.
Right.
So I just, didn't make as groovy as a sauce.
Huh.
And, he took the day because his sauce was a sauce.
Mm.
But if I had cooked the fish all the way through, hindsight is 2020.
Yeah.
And the hindsight on the rifle that I'm going to aim at Mark Long is also 2020. So it was just, I'm sharing, of course, the behind. And of course, Mark is a lovely person and he's very tall. And he didn't win the whole show. I can spoil that by now. The whole thing's been aired.
Yeah.
We've been a little behind on these.
Yeah, exactly.
It was hard. I was really worried to do them sooner.
Right.
Because I thought I would spoil something.
Yeah, exactly.
So now it's all over and Tracy won and she's the cutest potato too. So I kind of felt like it's a drag to go out like that.
Yeah.
And I was really kind of more angry than I thought I would be watching it. Because they cut it all up to kind of look like, oh, no big deal. They didn't show me going, he took the mango I cut?
Yeah. Oh, shenanigans.
And my team going, yeah.
Oh.
Mark, if you're out there, you had no consent to touch my juicy mango. 0. Okay?
Oh, well.
Ladies, you are not required to share your juicy mango with anyone.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what skin it's wearing. It doesn't matter if it's had a few drinks.
Mango means go.
Exactly. So I went bye-bye. I, hugged Jeff. It was a really sad moment because I liked him a lot. We were hanging out and I'd make jokes. And I said, my charity was the cancer center where my best friend had breast cancer surgery and treatments.
Right.
So that was really nice. And I was really tired.
Yeah.
I was really tired, but I wish I'd gone out on a more goofy, crazy, did the best we could kind of a thing.
Right.
I feel like it's tainted. I kind of want a redemption blind challenge.
That, I agree. You deserve one.
And he should be on that because I think all the shows Mark Long is in have the word challenge in them.
Yeah, exactly.
Mark, me and you, behind the gym, 3:00.
Bad advice challenge. All right. Our final question is from Lydia. And Lydia says, hi, LB. My parents hate my fiance and have offered to pay for me to go on vacation with them, but not him. What do I do?
Oh.
It's a quick one.
Lydia. So, Clark, let me ask Clark, because now I'm taking in the question.
Yeah.
Do you think that means that the parents said he can't come, or just that they won't pay for him?
I mean, I think from what I'm gathering, it does feel like they're saying we're not going to pay for him in the hopes that would mean that he wouldn't come.
Okay, so let's go with that.
Yeah.
Lydia, I don't know why your parents hate your fiance. I don't know your relationship with them. If they have been good, supportive parents, I would step back and take a look at why they hate him.
That's a good point.
Or ask some other people. But it could just be that no one's good enough for our Lydia.
Sure.
Or it could be that they're horrible people and he's black.
I hope it's not that.
I'm thinking Lydia's white because I was Lydia Liza Gutman on the Steve Harvey show.
Sure.
So that is why I'm self-identifying as Lydia.
Right.
So that aside, because that's a whole other issue.
Yeah.
That's not kind of breezy and summery.
Sorry about that. I mean, there's vacation. The word vacation was in there, so I thought it fit to the whole summer theme.
But we'll go with just the trip. I would say, getting into, what's the issue with your... He's like, he only beats me sometimes. My parents are overreacting. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
Although if it is, please write back because
yeah, seriously.
That's not okay.
That's a totally different question.
That's a totally different question, and I would like to give you some advice on that. What you could do is split the cost of his travel, which is what, Mom and Dad? We're still going. I'm still paying for it.
Right.
And you could do that. Or this is the time to have a real talk with your parents and say, I love this person. We're engaged.
Right.
Can we get through this or not?
Right.
And, I'm not saying it's you or him. It's him or me. It's them or me.
Right.
But because it's not about what, your fiance wants even necessarily. I mean, he might want to be treated with respect as a human being.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That doesn't mean that he gets a free ride to a vacation.
Sure.
But it is quite telling to say, we'll pay for you, but he can scrimp and save.
Right.
But the other thing is like you're married. You're not married. You're fianced.
Right.
You're financed.
Right.
Which means your finances are probably smushed together. So they're still taking food out of your mouth.
Right.
To, if he's going to go and, pay half and you pay half, which is an option. But I think, Clark, you're right. It's how uncomfortable can we make him so that he stays home?
Exactly.
And what I don't understand about that is them not acknowledging how uncomfortable is that going to make Lydia?
Yeah.
And is there going to be some rift? Or are they going to traffic her the other way for her own safety?
Right.
So it seems as though you could say, Lydia, well, then I'm not coming. I appreciate you being generous, but this is really not cool. And leave it at that.
Yeah.
You could say, this is really extreme. Can we please sit down and talk about this?
Yep.
And just you and your parents, not the fiance, at first maybe.
Sure.
I would even say just the three of you. Look, I love you. You're my parents. I love him. He's my fiance. Let's maybe it's all just a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Maybe he and your mom hooked up before you guys met. Who knows? Or he and your dad, and it's just a can of worms.
There you go.
Can open worms everywhere. But that's a conversation that needs to be had. I know that I personally would just not go. I would not go with them and say, yeah, let's go on vacation and have a good time. I would be so resentful, all of that animosity and yuckiness and manipulation about we're not paying for him.
Right.
That would overshadow any fun I would have. So if there was the conversation and anything was resolved or explained, you could be like, okay, well, I see why you don't like him, but you acknowledge that I love him. Do you want me to be happy?
Right.
It's not like everyone needs to hug and make out at the end, but if you can come to some resolution.
Mutual respect.
Yeah.
Mutual respect.
Mutual respect. And then, part of this also is Lydia, your fiance. Does he even want to go?
Yeah, that's another good question.
Does he go, why would I want to go on vacation with your parents?
Who clearly don't like me.
Who don't like me. They'll be like, we're going to dinner. Table for three?
Yeah. Oh, well, that brings me to my favorite bit of bad advice for this question, which is if your fiance is small enough, hide him in the suitcase.
Oh, is he a little person? Is that why your parents don't like him?
He could stow away and then just either pretend to happen to be at the same resort or put on a fake mustache and pretend to be various waiters throughout the resort.
Right? I
Right?
think that would be farcical. Or you go and you do that 80s movie thing where you plant some lipstick on your dad's collar and you try to start a thing where, a fight between he and your mom, and then your fiance comes in to save the day.
There you go.
Oh, you could stage a fake gunpoint robbery.
Now
Something where
we're
your
talking.
fiance is the hero. And maybe that this is bad advice
This
right
is
now.
really bad
We have
advice.
delved into the bad advice right now. I would have a hard time going on the vacation. I would have a probably impossible time having any fun, being pleasant even.
Yeah.
With all of this hanging over me. And
Yeah.
at the same time, as I stated at the beginning of my diatribe, why don't they like him?
Yeah.
If you're someone who would go on vacation with your parents,
Yeah.
and they don't like your fiance, what's the deal?
Yeah.
Unless you're just money grubby and you're like, I'm going to go on this vacation. That could be. Lydia, I
it.
feel like I've insulted / helped /
Mocked you.
mocked you. And you will probably end up in jail if you do half the things I suggested. So actually, please let us know what happens, because
Yeah.
there are unknowns to this.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's
And
super unknowns.
there could be really, really good solutions and really happy endings to this story.
Yeah.
And there could be endings that are like, so that's why I don't talk to my parents anymore. I do hope that helps, Lydia. And please let us know what happened and how everything went. But I believe that is the end of our nice, cool, breezy summer episode. That was pretty fun. If you guys out there listening, if you have questions or decisions that are weighing heavily on you, please send it to us and let LB ease your burden. Send us your problems at AskLoriBeth.com. Go follow us on all the socials at AskLoriBeth, or just leave us a message with your voice at 1-855-336-2374. That's 1-855-DENBERG or 1-855-Denberg.
And you can find me at LB Denberg on Instagram, at Lori Beth Denberg on Twitter, and at the Lori Beth Denberg fan page on Facebook. And you cannot watch me on any of the later episodes of Worst Cooks in America. Pour one out for me, which is what I did, dropping ingredients all over. So yeah, but it was really fun. I love the people, and watch the rest of it so that you can see all the yummy 90s stuff.
Yes.
And that's about it. Oh, and if you want to book me for a personalized video for a friend, loved one, or foe.
4th of July's coming up.
Ooh, I'm very patriotic. I'll dress up like Uncle Sam and say happy birthday to your best friend.
To your Uncle Sam.
Or just say happy birthday to America.
There you go.
Anyway, you can do that at cameo.com/LoriBeth.
All right, you guys, we will talk to you next week.
Thank you, babes.
Bad Advice stars Lori Beth Denberg and Clark Crozer. The show is produced by me, Jeremy Balon, and part of the Seltzer Kings network. Our theme song is written and performed by Natty Ward. If you or someone you love is in need of some bad advice, you can submit your own question on our socials, all of which are Ask Lori Beth, or on our website at AskLoriBeth.com, or for a nostalgic twist, you can call 1-855-DENBERG. That's right, 1-855-336-2374, and leave your question there. Thanks for listening.